G'day YouTube, just a quick video on how to box paint. This is a technique that painters use when they might have 3 or 4 colours that are very similar, or maybe 2 colours that they've tinted and they're not exact and they want to make them both the same. So when you've got 2 similar colours and you want to make them the same, this is called boxing paint. Now you can see there the dark spot and the lighter sort of grey-green. I've got 2 paints. I've got the dark one and I've got this lighter one, which is actually on my roof. And I'm going to use this dark one, I'm going to make it into the lighter one so I can do a back section of my roof without spending any money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some white to it, and then I'm going to box it all together and maybe add a bit of green. So you can see there I've got, that's the original colour, the top one there. And the dark colour is what I'm working with, so I'm trying to lighten that a little bit. So there's my white. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of white in there to start with, and then I'm going to use that to lighten the other 2. So what you'll need is you'll need an extra bucket or an extra 2 buckets, might be helpful. And then you put the colour in, like I'm lightening it a bit, so I'm adding a little bit of white. It's the same paint, so this is a gloss exterior self-priming paint. I'm also tinting with a gloss exterior self-priming paint. So you'll end up with the same sheen, and the paint's got the same properties. So you can see that I've already gone from that dark colour to quite a lighter colour, just by adding a little bit of white. And now what I'll do is I'll then box. I've actually added a little bit of green and a little bit of that beige colour as well, which is also the same paint, just to change the hue a little bit. And now I'm boxing the 2 drums so they're basically an identical colour. And what I'll do is I'll tip this back and forwards in between both drums about 20 times. It's good to have a 3rd drum because you can then sort of fill it a third up and tip the other 2 into that 3rd drum and then work back. Try to tip a rough amount of paint in each drum, but you're going to be doing it so many times that it's all going to mix up together anyway. And then after you finish, what you do is you stir all the drums up, and then you stick the stirrer stick in to each drum and stick it in the next drum, and you'll be able to see if the colour's the same. And if they're still different, if you can see on the stick just the wet colour, if it looks different, keep boxing it until it looks the same, because it will eventually be identical because it's the same paint. So here we go, I've done this quite a bit now. There's a bit after the video that I won't show because I actually went a little bit light and I found some black in the shed, and I was able to just darken it up that little bit, and I've got a colour now that's virtually identical to what is on the front of my roof. So the back of my roof is not visible from really anywhere, so I didn't really want to spend, you know, $400 or $500 on paint to do it, so I'm doing it this way. So you can see I'm getting very close to what I need here. And if you look there, the paint on the lettering there is actually what I've ended up with. So what I may do is I may just get a bit of black stain and just tint that up a tiny little bit more. It will darken up. That colour at the bottom is actually semi-dry, and that is wet, the colour on the lettering there. So, I mean, you can see there on the right the dark colour I started with, and then I went too far, and then I came back, and you can see the dramatic change you can get just by doing this, and saving a lot of money as well. So I would maybe do this for like inside wardrobes, is somewhere that you use a lot of paint. I might have some old paint I use inside a wardrobe, or for something like a roof that can not really be seen from anywhere. Like that's a good use for something like this. It's not something you do all the time. It is a handy skill to have, and colour matching as well is helpful. After this video, I'll show you how to get paint off a driveway, because I spilled a little bit of paint on my driveway, so I might as well show you how that's done as well. It's actually quite simple. You can either use a wire brush or a scrubbing brush is one way, but that often marks the driveway, so I'll show you another way to do it after this video, because I've got a little bit of paint on the driveway after all of that. Quite simple, alright? I'll upload that shortly.